Okay, this is going to be a quick rundown of my Amphetamine Vex build. Again, I don't want to make this build too long, so I'm just going to get straight into it. Now again, to start, we've got a low level What's for Dinner. Now I mentioned this in my Harlow build. Actually, this Amphetamine Vex build was the first build I made when I discovered this What's for Dinner low level tech. But as I explained in the previous build video, the reason we're using a low level Watts is that a low level Watts, or even just any low level shield, will have a smaller capacity. With a smaller capacity, we can refill the shield quicker, and with a quicker refilling shield, we get more amp shots, and with more amp shots, we get more damage. As I said before, from my own testing, a lower level Watts did almost double the DPS when using a high fire rate weapon when compared to a level 50 Watts, so it's definitely worth trying to get one of these. Now with that out of the way, let's get into the skills. So this build is primarily a kill skill and bleed Vex build. Most builds I see are either bleed or kill skills specifically. This takes advantage of both to maximize damage. So we're starting with Leech and Attunement. This gives us lifesteal with kinetic weapons and reload speed. Now the reload speed isn't the concern here, it's the lifesteal. A lot of our damage comes from this, Ultra Teen Witch, where lifesteal applies to our shields. That's how we're regenerating What's for Dinner, that's how we're getting our amp shots so often. So the issue with the Teen Witch is that it's currently bugged. The lifesteal stat on this class mod doesn't contribute to the lifesteal that the Ultra Teen Witch can take advantage of. The only lifesteal that works for this class mod are lifesteal effects from your skill tree. So a rep kit with lifesteal won't work, this class mod stat doesn't work. Those are the only two I can think of off the top of my head. Maybe the knife? I think you can get a leech and knife. I don't think that works either. So we need to take as many skills as we can that will give us a leech effect or lifesteal. So that's why we take leech and attunement. Next we have Bloodletter. This is bleed. Everyone knows bleed. It's a kinetic status effect. This is a huge part of our damage. Next we have Grave Implements. This is an incredibly underrated skill. It's probably one of Vex's strongest. It can give you as high as 120% gun damage. It's a huge part of Vex's damage formula, and that's why we're taking it. Then we have Material Components. Now, as I mentioned before, we have kinetic damage attunement here, we have kinetic damage status effect here, and now we have increased kinetic damage and kinetic status effect damage. It's a no-brainer. This is dipping in all our damage, so of course we have to take it. Next we have Grave Power. This will increase the number of stacks we can have on our kill skills, which is why we can get as high as 120% gun damage from Grave Implements, and it will help us stack other really useful skills that increase the damage we can output. Unfortunately, we don't have enough points. If we did, I would put some in Target Prescience, but we can compensate for this by using the crit knife. Next we're taking Drink Full. For Vex's damage formula, a lot of her damage is based around gun damage and kinetic damage. One of the only other ways to increase her damage without hitting huge amounts of diminishing returns is to increase her fire rate. Unfortunately, we don't have enough points to be putting into Fiendish Invigoration, but with this and with our rep kit, we can get to a pretty respectable amount of fire rate, which will increase our DPS exponentially. Next we have Witchy Triggerfinger. This is a crucial part of the build. This is how we're able to mag dump our weapons into bosses specifically. Using this skill, we can just fire continuously, basically until either the boss is dead or until we run out of ammo. Then we have Mortal Terror. This is a crucial skill for this build. Just by hitting crits, we activate kill skills. Now it seems like a low percent, only 5%, but take into account that every pellet you shoot, even if you're shooting a shotgun like the bod, each pellet counts. 5% chance to activate a kill skill. On top of that, things like Bloodletter, Bleed, things like Blood is Power, any bonus damage we do, even Enchantment here, they all have that 5% chance to activate a kill skill. So you'll be max stacks very easily on all your kill skills just after a couple seconds. Next we have Vibe Check. This isn't exactly crucial, but it does give you 3 charges of Eldritch Blast, and it also increases the cooldown reduction from gun damage you're dealing, so it's incredibly useful for maintaining Witchy Triggerfinger. Next we have Ars Arcana. Now this skill, it's a bit of an awkward skill. You would think it would work for skills like Blood is Power or Bloodletter. From my testing, it doesn't seem like it does. If it does, it's a very small difference. So The reason I'm taking Ars Arcana, even though I'm not even sure it's benefiting us, is because Grave Vitality is actually detrimental to our build. Now the reason for this is, as I explained before, the class mod we're using, Teen Witch, allows lifesteal to contribute to shield regen once our health is full. Now the issue with a skill like Grave Vitality is that it's increasing the amount of HP we have. Now if we were to take damage if our shield breaks, if we take health damage, we would need to heal more HP to then be able to start regenerating our shield from our lifesteal. By not taking Grave Vitality, we keep our health as low as possible so we can constantly keep regenerating our shields without wasting valuable time regenerating health instead. That's why we're not taking Grave Vitality. Now next is Essence Leech. This is just giving us lifesteal. This would give us 20% when our action skill is active, Incarnate. This is just contributing to the damage we can deal because it's giving us more lifesteal for Teen Witch, and it's contributing to the next skill, which is Blood is Power. Now Blood is Power, Vex gains bonus kinetic damage with guns based on the current lifesteal when our health is full. Now our bonus kinetic damage is 300% of lifesteal, so bear in mind how much lifesteal we have. I'm pretty sure Blood is Power does work with Teen Witch, so we have 10% here, another 10% here, 20% here, and also gain benefit from our class mod, which has 3 points in Grave Thirst. Now Grave Thirst is giving us extra lifesteal, 13.5%, plus we get the extra stacks from Grave Power. This is giving us an extra 27% lifesteal. So that's 27, 10, 20, and 10 from the class mod. That is a huge amount of lifesteal, which will be scaling Blood is Power to fucking heaven. This is a huge amount of damage that we're gaining from Blood is Power. Then with our remaining 3 skill points, we put 2 points in enchantment. As I mentioned before, this has given us more chances for bleed to proc, and as it's bonus kinetic damage, it's getting all the bonuses we have that's buffing kinetic damage, for example from our class mod and from material compounds. Then we put our last point in Grave Sustenance, which will allow our action skill to last pretty much forever. Then last but not least, our class mod is giving us 4 points in Conjunction. Unfortunately, for some reason, Witch cannot roll more than 3 points in Grave Thirst. So this is the perfect class mod roll. If you're looking for one, you're looking for kinetic damage, 4 in Conjunction, 3 in Grave Thirst. Ideally, we would have 5 Grave Thirst, 2 in Conjunction, just to scale Blood is Power even more. Unfortunately, that's impossible, as I've explained. So 4 in Conjunction is a flat gun damage buff, so we can't really complain. Damage is damage, right? Next, we have Specializations. Now, these are quite important for Vex. They make quite a big difference to the damage Vex can deal. So each one of these is non-negotiable. So to start, we have Best Defense. You gain increased damage based on the fullness of shield or health, whichever has higher maximum capacity. Now, as I've pointed out, we're using a low-level Watts, so this specialization is going to be scaling off your health stat. Since we're using a lifesteal build, you will always be full health, so you will always have 30% extra damage. Next, we have Riddle You This. This is just free gun damage. This is contributing to our damage for basically doing nothing. You're just shooting your gun. This is always a must pick on basically every build that uses a gun. Next, we have Contamination. This is a very good spec for us to take, as it gives us effectively a 100% chance for bleed to proc. So the issue with bleed with 5 blood letter is it's only a 50% chance for bleed to proc. With Contamination, with just a few crits, you hit 100% chance, so every single crit you hit will be proccing bleed. Then lastly, but very much not least, is I Am a Gun. Now, you might be reading the description of this spec and wondering why on earth we're taking it. Despite what it says, it does buff skill damage as well, and for some reason, it's counting bloodletter as skill damage. So for my testing, I Am a Gun actually buffs your bleed by about 50%. This is a huge buff to our damage, so this is also very much non-negotiable. Now, when it comes to gear, just like my Harlow build, we're using 3 Deadeye, 2 High Caliber. Deadeye for the crits, High Caliber for the projectile speed and gun damage. These are just very standard, very strong firmwares to take. In terms of weapons, just like my Harlow build, this build can quite literally use anything, provided it's kinetic. You can use non-kinetic stuff, but your damage will be nowhere near as good since kinetic is where a lot of Vex's damage formula can be optimized. So weapons I like to use, things like Borees, Whiskey Foxtrot. The bod is exceptionally good on this build because we have so much gun damage, so much kinetic damage. The bod takes so many bonuses from gun damage, and it shoots a whole bunch of pellets as a shotgun spread, which will help keep our kill skills procced, help proc bleed. It's just a fucking insane weapon. Highly recommend it. My particular favourite rolls are COV license rolls with sniper rifle ammo, and the impact rolls very good with SMG. There's also the sticky sniper. With one mag, I can kill a 4-man Radix in UVHM5, as you should have seen at the start of this video. Highly recommend it. Other weapons you can use include the 7th Sense, the GMR is also good. You can use the Chaosin as well. Pretty much any weapon will work. Some will work better than others, but just use what you like. In terms of rep kits, we have a couple options here. Unfortunately, some of them are quite hard to obtain. So first of all, we have the wall paint. This is for bossing. You want Enrage for the damage. It's very nice. Some methods we have for optimizing damage are order rep kits, which let you get double perk rolls. This Enrage and Splash damage roll is really good for Torg bods, where the Enrage and Splash are both benefiting the damage that the bod will do. For our ordnance, we're using the crit knife. Now, the crit knife is very important for this build, unfortunately. We just don't have enough skill points to put into target prescience to give ourselves free crit chance. So we're getting the free crit chance from the throwing knife instead. So you need a penetrator roll, and the damage and payload is also very nice. As I've mentioned before, the Ultra Teen Witch is the class mod we're using. As I also mentioned before, we're looking for as many points of greater thirst as possible. 3 is the maximum you can get, and therefore 4 in conjunction, because conjunction is the next best skill. In terms of the substats, you want the kinetic damage stat. If you're using the bod, gun damage will work as well. There's quite a big difference between the damage the kinetic damage roll will give you versus the gun damage roll. So if you only go for one, aim for kinetic damage. That will be the best roll, especially if the bod ever gets nerfed. This will be the one to get. I've already discussed the shield. It's the low level what's for dinner. This will probably be quite hard for people to find. If you can't find one, you could try and join in Moxie's server, Moxie the YouTuber. I'm in that server. I've given out save files for this build. I've given out this specific shield multiple times. There should be plenty of people there willing to help you get one of these. In terms of enhancements, very similarly to my Harlow build, it's just a matter of matching whatever weapon you're using. So when I'm mobbing, quite often I'll take a multi-strike or something with bounce pass like this hat trick, just so I can get as many ricochets as possible. If I'm just using a bod, I'll run a Torg Agonizing Pounder or a Daedalus Agonizing Uptick. If I'm using a Whiskey Foxtrot for bossing, I'll use a Hero of the Bullet. Basically, I'm just matching whatever weapon I'm using. That about sums up the gear, the skills, the specs. At this point, I don't think I have anything more to say. I do believe this is the strongest Vex build in the game. It's about as optimized as Vex could possibly be at this moment. It doesn't use any game-breaking bugs, so anyway. That's about all I had to say. I'm going to do a quick run of this vault just to show off the build, and then I'll kill the boss in record time. In terms of what gear I use, I will probably just use the Bori for this. Maybe I'll put out the bod for a bit.
Hope your grip's as strong as your jaw.
You don't even need to pop your action skill, but I guess I may as well show you what it looks like while you're mobbing with it. Might use the bod for a bit as well. You may notice I'm not getting my action skill back quickly. That really doesn't matter because you don't need to use it when mobbing, as I'm proven at this very moment. We're not worried about getting it back quickly. We'll have it back when we meet the boss, and the boss will die instantly. Might use the SMG roll for a bit. Could also use the whiskey for a bit. As I said, anything will work with this build. And you can see we've got our action skill back, but I won't even pop it. Just don't even need it. The whiskey isn't a great mobbing weapon just because of the charge up, but as you can see, like, everything's just dying instantly. You can see that guy bled out, even though we didn't shoot him. Our ricochet shots will proc bleed for us. I will use the... what would I use for the boss? Could be interesting. Should I just use the bod? Maybe a sticky bod. I would recommend the sticky sniper over the sticky SMG for this build. And if we want to optimize, we can put on an enraged splash damage rep kit and a Torg agonizing pounder. That is how strong this build is. No legendary. Rip. Okay, that about sums it up. Don't think I have anything more to say. So thanks for watching, and fuck off.